Hello, and welcome to our conversation here in the very late stages of sanity, where the name of our show is just a description of the socio political environment of the United States here in 2025. I am known of consequence, and hi, Winston Smith.
Hello.
How are you enjoying the takeover of INSOC?
I'm loving it. It's the Ministry of Peace is it's really doing its job this time.
Oh, yeah, the Ministry of Peace is kicking ass. They Have you seen the Ministry of Peace? I mean, they've done Argentina.
hmm
They've enacted peace over in
Oh man, they got
Argentina
so much peace right now.
by bombing fishermen boats,
hmm
and and then of course Greenland, where we're alienating our not just alienating. He's always alienated our traditional allies, but now we're actually threatening war against our
I
traditional European
I think
allies by going after
he's just setting up for
Greenland.
next year's Nobel Peace Prize nomination. That's so he's just like getting ready for that. So
Right, right.
he's a shoo-in.
Yeah, he's really on his way to that double think Peace Prize, Nobel Peace Prize.
Fun fact, you know
It,
the only other person in history to accept a Nobel Peace Prize that wasn't theirs, who that was?
um, I'm going to go with Martin Luther King Jr. Probably that.
It was
I think
it's
I'm right.
close. Joseph
Close. Oh,
Goebbels. So
I did see that before, but yeah, that's close. It's
very
very
cut
close.
from the same cloth.
They're almost the same
Cut from the
person.
same cloth, man. You can barely tell them apart.
You know, there's Goebbels. Other than like the vile evil, the personification of evil. I think other than that, I think he'd be more or less the same dude
Yeah,
as Martin Luther King Jr. Other than the just the minor you know um, demon from hell
yeah.
thing.
Besides that,
Besides that, yeah. Um, but yeah, Greenland. He's really threatening our traditional allies with actual war. This is something that honestly not even I thought
I didn't think so either. Yeah,
would ever happen. Like I knew he was going to be terrible domestically, but I never thought his foreign policy was going to be terrible, except for just rhetorically. I know he always attacks our traditional allies and he cozies up to dictators because he's an authoritarian, so that's who he is. So I knew he does that, but I did not think that he was going to literally threaten our allies with war, or even get even be like. I didn't think he was going to be like most of our presidents in terms of getting our military involved in foreign
yeah.
conflicts. That's uh,
It's,
that's worse than even I thought.
yeah, and I think that's worse than anybody thought, other than the whoever is in the shadows telling him that this is a good idea, because I know that he doesn't really care. Like estimates have been made that he's made more money in the last 10 months than he did in his entire life before now. Like the crypto stuff that he did, he's made. I don't think they're thinking like $3 billion that he might have made. But they don't know for sure because that's just an estimate because it's all, it's all unregulated. So I don't think he really cares. I think somebody cares. But what their end game is, I don't know. Other than that just the dissolution of NATO, which is what Putin wants. So that's the only
Right.
real motivation that anybody can see. So it's either that or he's literally insane, which
And what something that really drives me nuts. I was going to say the thing that really drives me nuts, but I can't use the definite article there. Not the thing. One of the many things that drives me crazy is his supporters wouldn't otherwise give a shit about NATO. They just support whatever he tells
hmm
them to support. That's it.
yeah.
Like they want they want Greenland now, and they love alienating our NATO allies just because Trump said so. Like it's
Yeah.
whatever he says. It's if tomorrow he says no, we love NATO, and now we're back to hating autocratic dictators like Putin.
Hmm.
We're going to go back to that. They would follow him.
I,
If he did the right thing, they would do. They would support the right thing as well. They just support whatever he says.
yeah, and the goalposts are constantly being moved. If all of the things that Democrats and centrists, everybody, every foreigner on earth said before the election, like this is what he's going to do, uh, has come true. Like there, nothing he's done has been, you know what I mean? Like we were all crying wolf, and we were, fear mongering before the election. But literally everything that we said would happen has happened. It's just not. He, he's getting to the end game, and that's the scary part. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like there's no line that we said he wouldn't cross that he would cross that he hasn't crossed yet. Like everything.
And he's crossing lines that not even the most hysterical among us ever thought he would cross.
Yeah,
Like foreign military conflicts. I thought that was the one area where he was actually
that's what he
good.
ran on.
I
Like the
thought he was,
peace guy,
yeah,
peace and
yeah.
Epstein.
I thought that was one area where he was actually good. He would actually be a good candidate and be, better than most of our presidents in terms of uh, getting involved in foreign military conflicts. But he's actually been terrible there as well, as if he needed more areas to be terrible in. I thought he was just going to be an awful, domestic president because he's
Hmm.
trying to be a dictator. He's autocratic and authoritarian, and he wants to eliminate political opposition as well as brown people. So
Yeah,
I knew that part, like the stuff that's going on in Minnesota with ICE. That doesn't shock me at all. That's par for the course for him for Trump. The foreign military shit
yeah.
is worse.
It doesn't. It's not lost on anybody either that he did this. That the threat to or the Venezuela president abduction happened the day of the Epstein files were supposed to be released, which they didn't release. And they're going against court orders right now. And now they're saying that the federal government doesn't have to listen to court orders. So I am so goddamn curious as to what is in those Epstein files. What could be in there that is so. I don't think that any Donald Trump supporters would care at all about the Epstein files. They'll move the goalpost so far that they'll be like, oh man, that's fine. They should just lower the age of consent to 11 so that you know I mean, like, and human trafficking isn't really a crime anymore. They were on a vacation in Ireland. They will say shit like that, man. You know they will. Like, I don't even know what he's
They
afraid of.
absolutely will.
He's afraid of being absolutely,
Absolutely.
and but I think he is afraid of being prosecuted after the fact, or he's protecting somebody else, which one way or another,
Um,
something is in those files that we all need to see.
yeah, and what again? The thing that I keep getting hung up on is his supporters, who, like as you said, won't be budged, even if he's all over the files, even if there's 100% proof, if there's proof beyond any shadow of a doubt that he actually raped children, they'll continue to defend him. There's nothing he could do
Hmm.
to lose their support. His hardcore supporters, there's nothing. Just like he said when he first started running back in 2015, that he could shoot someone in broad daylight on Fifth Avenue and he wouldn't lose a single voter.
Hmm.
He's right, and he's proven that for 10 years
Oh
now.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. He's there.
Yeah. I've said before, and I'll continue to say this. At this point, people who still support Donald Trump with everything he's done and said, everything that's been going on for the past decade,
Hmm.
for anyone who continues to support him, Donald Trump could literally murder their entire families in front of their
Hmm.
faces, and they would still support him. And if they were here, they would surely say that's absurd, that's hyperbole, but it's actually not. Hear me
Hmm.
out. like take an average Trump supporter who's still supporting him here in 2026.
Hmm.
Uh, Trump murders his family in front of his face. Honestly, like for that moment, maybe he would start to question his support of Donald Trump. But
Then
like all Trump would have to do is like the next day he would just have to say, "That wasn't me. That was a Democrat in disguise.
yeah,
That was a deep state conspiracy to make me look bad." And they would believe him, and we could provide DNA evidence, and they would say, "No, that was planted by the deep
yep,
state." And we could provide a video evidence, and they would say, "No, that's
AI
a
and
deep fake created by the deep state." And there is nothing we could do to get them to budge. They will 100% accept any answer that he gives. And it's not because they're stupid or misinformed, it's because they are literal fascists who favor this fascist movement. I'm going to say that to let that's the part that I think you and I disagree on.
hmm
I think you most people I disagree with most people on this. I think most people who are sane and oppose Trump think that everyone who still supports him, it's just because they've been misinformed, they're misled, they believe the lies, they believe the gaslighting.
hmm
I don't actually think that's the case. I think the vast majority of them know the lies, are crystal clear on what's going on. They know what's happening, and they support it because they support the fascist movement. They're not stupid, they're evil.
Why would
I'm going to keep saying
anybody
that.
who is not in the controlling circle of a fascist government want fascism? I don't understand why they want it in the first place. Like, why would anybody want to
Because
be under somebody's thumb in that, to the point where that if Donald Trump could have his way, he would make thought crime a thing. You know what I mean? Like he would like, oh, you're not even allowed to think that I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like he would do that. Why would anybody want to live under that? It boggles my mind.
because I think because they hate their opposition so much, they hate like liberals and progressives, left wing people in general, broadly speaking, left Democrats. They hate them so much that they want the dictatorship. They want that stuff outlawed.
Man.
I mean, they're defending shooting the guy in Minnesota basically just because he had a firearm. And I've seen the online people who are defending that, and they're coming up with horse shit.
Oh yeah.
They're just coming up with horse shit. Like like they can't be stupid enough to actually believe that. Like the shit that's coming out of their mouths.
Oh, this
They just support that. You know,
if this gets enough
they hate their opposition so
oh
much.
yeah, if this gets enough traction, this could be one of the things that could be. I'm of the mind that, and I'm sure that you are as well, that eventually Donald Trump or whoever is in charge of this authoritarian regime at any time is going to want. They have to go after the guns at some point, and
Oh, it's something they do.
and
Yeah.
and this could be one of the things. You know what I mean? This could be one of the things. Like, well, we had this. They that's their end goal. They have to do that. Otherwise, they can't fully. They're always going to have to watch their backs. They don't want to. They don't. They want these people want to be rich and run around the world and do whatever they want. Well, pretty soon it's just me in the country. But they can't. They don't want people taking shots at them either. So, like, they can't complete this without that. And MAGA people have laughed in my face and said, he's Republican. He's not going to take my gun. I'm like, you watch. He's going to do it. He's going to try anyways, and you better not give it up, or you're, you know.
Um, but if he comes out and literally says it,
Hmm.
they're going to support it. Though
Yeah, yeah, probably.
They would
There's
100%
like yeah,
support it.
30, 40, 30,
They
30
won't budge.
35% of the country will probably support that wholeheartedly. Um,
Yeah, they can't be budged,
they'd
as
be
I
like, it's
said.
about time somebody took
Um,
this shit from us. Look, we can't be.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, during the 24 election, if I said, yeah, we're gonna see ICE literally just murdering people in the street, they of course would have
Hmm.
laughed because they're gaslighting,
Hmm.
and they would have laughed to dismiss it. Now that it's happening, they have to shift and try to justify it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
some of the justifications I've seen online. Oh my god, there's one poster online that this got big. That I think this is a tweet that I saw it on Facebook, but it was a picture of a tweet. Someone named the screen name Maverick.live, I think, something like
Okay.
that, says, allow me to explain to liberals. The ICE agent is Han Solo and the other guy is Greedo. Now, this infuriates me on so many levels, not the least of which is it's using Star Wars to defend totalitarianism. Star Wars is a story about fighting against totalitarianism.
Yes.
So he's literally on the exact opposite side. That's number one. But number two, or that's one of them. But another thing here. So Greedo was literally holding a gun to Han's
Hmm.
face. That guy just had a gun in his holster and was not threatening anyone with it.
Right.
And they're gonna try to gaslight me into thinking that's the same thing.
It's such a it's just the
And
worst. Yeah, yeah. It's a very poor example.
yeah, they're gonna gaslight. And notice I'm not saying that he's wrong because he's not wrong. He's lying. That's a different
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, he surely. I think it's a he. The picture looks like it's a he. Um, surely he understands that that's not a good comparison because first of all, Greedo was on. Well, he was a rogue.
He's an assassin,
Uh,
like a bounty hunter.
he was an assassin. Yeah, he was a rogue guy, but the the good guys in Star Wars were fighting against totalitarianism. So that's number one. But number two, the more obvious, immediate thing, Greedo has a gun pointed right at Han Solo's face, and this guy who got murdered uh, was not threatening anyone with it. The gun was in his holster.
Hmm.
Uh, he can't be stupid enough to believe that's true. So my next guess is that he's
Oh
lying.
yeah, 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 for sure. They'll
He's
they'll say anything.
he's he's gaslighting. He's just a fascist piece of shit who wants his fascist dictator, so he's going to defend the fascists when they fascist, verb fascist.
I work with a guy who's self-proclaimed libertarian, but he's also a Trump apologist. And I was the other day. I don't really talk to him about politics very much because he either is like nothing's happening. It's all bullshit. It's more of the same. But people just hate Trump, so that we're hearing about it. I'm like, okay. He's either that way or he's full on like, yeah, dude, we should take over Greenland. And I'm like, you're a libertarian, dude. Like this regime is the exact opposite of your belief system for political beliefs. Like the
A
op
libertarian who decided we should take over Greenland
yeah, and that
by force.
crush dissent is the opposite. You're not really libertarian. Like that you're just a piece of shit. Like that that's that you can't be those things at the same time. You can't be an authoritarian libertarian. Like
An authoritarian
yeah,
libertarian.
yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I'm a Nazi. I'm a Nazi Jew.
Nazi Jew or yeah, a Nazi commie. I'm a Nazi commie.
Yeah, a Nazi commie. Um,
I am afraid though
yeah,
that
they're shameless.
that the um that the message that they're trying to send. Let me back up. First of all, I believe the end game is, of course, to incite real violence on a large scale so that he can insurrection act, prevent the elections, all that stuff. I believe that's going to be a thing
Yep.
that's the goal for this kind of the Minneapolis stuff. But the problem is that you got this guy Alex who was lawfully carrying. I don't think that anybody should really be carrying a gun anyways, but that's just my personal beliefs. But he was legally doing these things, and somebody online said, why didn't he pull his gun out against the ICE officers? And the answer is because he didn't want to escalate it to violence because he might get shot, and he ended up getting shot anyways. which is sending the message to the people who open carry at protests that it doesn't matter if you're brandishing your gun or not, you could be killed. They may decide that I'm just going to shoot an ICE officer in the face on site, and it's not that far away from being like that. We're a couple weeks or one big thing away from like legitimate like problems we can't come back from easily. And that's what they're if you cannot peacefully protest, the only alternative is violence. That's it. And I hope that
Yep.
they know what the game that they're playing, because they everybody loses this one. But
Yep.
especially Donald Trump loses this one. You can't fight half the United States Army, the National Guard, and citizen and half the more than half the citizens in the country, um, and win. You can't.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I'm cautiously optimistic that you're right, but I still get nervous about it. The thing is, and it's sad that this is what my brain is thinking is the only saving grace here, is that if you get in a full blown like like armed conflict, like civil war, like armed conflict between different factions of our
Hmm.
military, um, obviously the economy is just melts
Oh
down.
yeah,
Like you can't run. The economy wouldn't be it would be terrible, and that's when he would actually lose his support. The only thing that would cause him to lose support is economic meltdown, which
yeah.
is terrible because the way he is, even if you have the best economy in the world, the greatest economy of all time, that should not justify support for
Oh no,
someone like
yeah.
Donald Trump.
Did you see the
So it's sad that that's what it would take, but that's what it
oh
would
yeah,
take.
did you see the the phone conversation between Ted Cruz and Donald Trump? I don't know when this was exactly, but it was leaked out. I haven't heard it, but I've seen the transcripts. But it said Ted Cruz said to Donald Trump that if we go into the 2026 midterms with people's 401ks 30% down, and you know, goods are 20% up, that they're going to get murdered in the midterms. And he said that, and then for the next 2 years you'll be fighting an impeachment every week. And he said, "Fuck you, Ted." that's 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 but
That's
that's
good.
if
That's
Ted
nice.
Cruz could take the time out of escaping Texas when it gets cold to say that to Donald Trump, it might be serious. Like, and Ted Cruz got to worry about his own job, man. So like,
Yeah, don't get me started on the Democrats' chances in Texas. That's a whole other soapbox. Um, but yeah, that's the one thing that makes me a little bit hopeful. That's one of the few things that makes me a little bit hopeful is that these are inherently terrible people. So there's going to be a lot of
yeah,
infighting
yeah, yeah.
amongst themselves,
That's yeah, for sure.
and that weakens them. So that's a little bit of a saving grace there. But in general, this is just I don't know. We're pretty close to a civil war here, unless these ICE agents actually get prosecuted. The murderers. I don't think we've mentioned the names of the victims. I feel like we should mention their names. So it was the first one was Renee
Hmm.
Good, 37 years old. Last week got murdered for being at a protest and being on the wrong side of the fascist
Hmm.
government. And then it was Alex Preddy was the more recent
Hmm.
one who was murdered by fascists for being on the wrong side of a fascist government.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And
ah,
nobody, eh, man, these ICE, they're gonna they think that they're wearing these masks and that nobody's gonna identify them. They're getting paid. Everybody knows. People know who they are, and it's gonna come out. They're all gonna be prosecuted. This will end one day. This will end, and there's going to be a ton of people that we know that are pro MAGA right now, that who will pretend that they never were, that oh we it, they absolutely, if it goes far enough, of course, if Donald Trump died right now, they would be able to go to their grave saying that Donald Trump is the best president they could have ever conceived of. But in like a year, I don't know.
Again, I hope you're right.
But yeah,
I
I mean, but one way or
There have
another.
been no shortage. Yeah. Um, there have been no shortage of incidents that I thought would have finally turned the tables and ended Trump's run. You know,
Hmm.
killed his popularity and ended his run. But so far, having a secret police literally murdering protesters for dissent um, is so far not enough yet. So they're still not ashamed of supporting Donald Trump yet.
Well, I think that on some
I
level,
don't
I've been
know
thinking.
what it.
Oh yeah, and I think on some level, like when something terrible happens and a MAGA couple is watching the news or whatever, and they go, "Oh shit, this guy got shot." They need Christy Nome or Cash Patel or Donald Trump or whoever from the administration to give them any excuse so they don't have to feel that way anymore. And they always get it, of course. They get it that this guy was a terrorist or she was a. How dare she be a lesbian in her car? I mean, that's just. I think that some people are like, "Oh, she was a lesbian, so I mean, that's why she got shot." Like that. That's like, but they need some
Yeah,
excuse so that they can latch onto it. And I think, yeah, that there's it's become pretty serious.
yeah, um, absolutely insane. But other than that, how do you think things are going in 2026?
Um,
I think some sports ball teams are
oh, there's some
doing
sports
well.
balls going on, yeah. Let's see. I'm
Some of the teams are doing well, and some are not. I think that's the latest.
I have heard that one team usually loses every match. So yeah, I do
Interesting.
like that new Fallout show. If you haven't seen that, that's pretty good. I
Fallout.
don't like. Um, if I hope that nobody's watching it as like a playbook like they have with 1984. Um, but in the show is good. You should watch. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but it is legitimately good, and it's about the end of the world, so it's a lot of fun.
Oh, cool. Um, yeah, some things I really want to watch, but they're hitting too close to
Hmm.
home. Like I've wanted to watch The
Oh,
Handmaid's Tale
yeah,
for a long
no.
time, but I can't bring myself to do it because that just hits too close to home. I'm literally worried about a theocracy of that magnitude
Hmm.
uh, here in the United States. I'm worried that's going to happen here in the United States,
Oh, yeah.
like
Hmm.
soon. So I can't bring myself to watch it. Maybe when this threat is over someday, if and when, maybe I could go and enjoy the show as pure fiction. But right now, I don't know.
I do believe though
Um,
that if this gets over, let's say that Donald Trump's impeached at the end of this year. Um,
mhm.
if nobody is held accountable for this stuff, if Christy Nome is on is a Fox advisor, if Cash Patel and Bovino and all of these cabinet members just go back to their lives before and nobody is held accountable for what happened, then
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
we absolutely have to leave the country because
it, it will happen
it'll
again.
just happen again, and it will be worse the next time because they won't have somebody like Donald Trump who's just borderline dementia slash um, narcissist slash psychopath slash idiot. Um, they'll find somebody who has all the same beliefs but just isn't as abrasive to half the country. Um, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it'll be way worse. Or we'll get somebody like Kanye West will run for president and win. Like you know what I mean? Like that level. Like I think that some people are looking at this like I cannot believe how dumb these people are. We could be president. I could be president like legitimately. Kanye's got to be like man. I don't know what he thinks in his head because he's there's something wrong
Well,
with him. But like,
the man who said quote, I'm quoting directly
mm,
here, quote, slavery is a
mm,
choice, end
yeah,
quote.
yeah, everybody signs up for that. I
Interesting.
remember when I was
That's literally by definition not correct. Like, by definition, if it's by choice, it's not slavery. I don't. It's that was literally like saying white is black
yeah, yeah,
or up is down or it's not even. It's even worse than like saying the sky is not blue. It's worse than that because it's literally by definition. It's a priori. It's
hmm
by definition slavery is not a choice. If it's a choice, it's not
yeah. It's called
slavery.
going to work or volunteering or
Exactly.
volunteering.
Exactly.
Oh, what do you do? What do you?
Maybe even indentured servitude,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
But that's still not technically slavery. That's by definition. That's in the definition of slavery is uh, unwilling. Is it's not your
yeah.
choice. That's in the
The
definition.
chattel slavery. I personally there. I like I've said before to you and probably on this podcast that I did not know that there was this many racists in the country. I did not know. I had no idea that it was this prevalent. I think right now that if
Me neither.
not right now, in like 8 months, if they were like, we're going to bring back slavery, I think that they could get away with it. Like, like they would do it. They would absolutely do it. That's the real end goal. I think is to do that.
It could be, and I think if Trump says it, they will march in lockstep behind him.
hmm
They will absolutely support it if Trump says so. That's why I think Trump is such a unique threat. Like I don't know if anyone else could be as much of a threat because he has something about his personality that people just latched onto
Oh God, I can't
that
figure
he
out what
just
it
can't
is.
lose their
What
support.
what
Like
is it?
whatever he says, there are a lot of racists in this country, absolutely, but I think there are a lot of people who were not white supremacists before. I think that's what we mean. Is I think when you say racist, I think we're talking
Yeah, yeah,
the most racist, the highest degree of racism, like white
yeah,
supremacy.
yeah,
Um, I think yes, there were a lot. There are. I agree. There are a lot more white supremacists than I thought there were in this country. But also, I think there are a lot of people who were not white supremacists. Before Trump told them that they should be, and now they are
yeah. Oh, right,
because
right.
Trump said
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Like it's just surreal their worship of this fucking guy. But I
Yeah.
think
There, there is no depth that I don't think that his supporters can go to at this point. There's nothing they can't justify. There's nothing they can't defend. There isn't. So,
yep, that's I agree 100%. We are past our time here. Um, Anything you want to say
um,
to in conclusion here?
I do think it'll end. I do think that it will end uh, sooner than 10 years. But if they're not held accountable, we got to do something about it. We'll take the law in our own hands. No, don't say that. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
I no, but I couldn't agree more. We would have to hold them
Yeah.
accountable, or else it will happen again.
That's one good thing, though.
I think
Oh,
the
there
last
is one other thing that I wanted to say that the pendulum. There is an argument to be made that the Democrats for the last 20 years have been really just Republican light. There is an argument to be made about that. Not all Democrats, but I'm talking about the mainstream, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Cory Bookers,
yeah,
those kind of guys, or not Booker, Jim Jeffrey. Was it guys Jeffrey, Hakeem Jeffries? Those guys.
Hakeem
Yeah,
Jeffries, yeah,
they're
Chuck Schumer,
Chuck Schumer. Yeah,
yeah. I don't really agree with that, but yeah, go
but
on. I
but
get
but
that.
I
I get the
but I
criticism.
think that but the pendulum swinging back the opposite direction will give an opportunity for real progressives to be in power, which will, like, if you get a bunch of AOCs and you get a bunch of Bernie Sanders and a bunch of Ma'am Donnies kind of ideological, you know, the kinsmen of them, they won't allow this to continue. They you know what I mean? Like people will be held accountable as long as there's enough of them, and I guarantee there's going to be
Yeah,
more of them than in 2026 than there was in 2024 or 2020. I mean, so
yeah,
but yeah, I think there's
yeah.
optimism
I,
out
I
there.
think that's a good
Yeah,
point. Yeah. That's a good point. On that point, I want to say one thing real quick. I do think we, in the long term, we need to be careful about just trading right wing authoritarianism for left wing
agreed.
authoritarianism.
Yes, yes.
Like authoritarianism could come from any political ideology. It doesn't matter. It's when you get to the point where you say people are not allowed to disagree with me. Then you're you're broaching authoritarianism. We don't want left wing authoritarianism any more than we want right wing
Right,
authoritarianism, and there's no one on the left like that. That's like that right now. Is I mean, certainly nowhere to the extent of Donald Trump,
right.
but there are some that like Bernie Sanders. Yeah, okay, he's always been on the right side of history. He's a good person, obviously, but sometimes he gets a little bit of an authoritarian attitude. Again, it's nowhere close to the level
Hmm.
of Donald Trump, but sometimes it's like if you disagree with him, you're kind of a bad person. I think he gets that a little bit
Hmm.
to a very
Yeah,
small
yeah.
extent, and I don't think it's terrible yet, but we don't want it to get terrible. We want no authoritarianism from the left or the right. Right now, the authoritarian threat comes from the right, but it could just as easily come from the left. It's
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Authoritarianism is bad always.
It doesn't matter how you get there.
Um,
It always looks the same. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. I think my last concluding remark. I mentioned that guy who tweeted, "Allow me to explain the liberals. The ICE agent is Han Solo, and the other guy is Greedo." That gaslighting crap, as if this guy had a gun to the cop's head, to ICE agent's head, the way Greedo had a gun to Han Solo's head. That insults me. Uh, First of all, as a nerd, but also as a citizen.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
to that point, so someone responded that Father Nathan. Do you know this person on
I do
Facebook?
not.
Uh, he's pretty cool. I think he's like a Catholic priest, but I think, or maybe he's not. Maybe he just says Father Nathan. I don't know. But if he's a Catholic priest, he's like a liberal one. But at any rate,
Hmm.
he responded to that and said, "Let me explain this to conservatives. ICE is the stormtroopers. Trump is Darth Vader. Putin is Palpatine. Bannon is Jabba.
Hmm.
Miller is the little thing that lives on Jabba's belly. Good is good, as in Megan Good is Jin Urso.
Okay.
Peretti is Cassian. Bernie Sanders is Ben Kenobi. Han is all of the folks driving transport for the activists, who are Luke and Leia."
Yep.
That was great. He had one more sentence, which is too optimistic. I don't want to jinx anything by saying it. But
Is speaking of Star Wars, one last thing for me too. Is George Lucas came out and said that, um, that that in a roundabout way, Star Wars is based on Vietnam War because he wrote it during that time. And when he posted that, or not posted, but said that in interviews, MAGA was like, that would make the U.S. the empire in this situation. But that, like, yes, yes, grab onto that. That's exactly what's happening. Yes, yes, do that. Think more along those lines. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, if he a little more of that, and we could forgive George sequel for those, or we could forgive George Lucas for those sequels,
I'm already starting to forgive him a little bit for
or
the
the prequels.
for the prequels, for the dialogue. I forgive him a little bit, but
Yeah, yeah, a little bit more of this, and we could finally forgive him for the prequels. But but anyway, yeah, I think that's our time. Uh,
yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Uh, for Winston Smith, I am no one of consequence, and we are out.
See ya.